back to the JMC Reviews, and today we're going to be diving into the 1988 remake of the 1957 Roger Corman cult classic, Not of This Earth.
The sci-fi chiller of the year.
I'm just dying to see it.
Not of This Earth.
For those who may be new or maybe don't remember, back in October of 2019, I did a review of the 1957 Not of This Earth, and surprisingly, for a sci-fi horror film from the 50s, directed by Roger Corman, it was really well made and very effective. It was actually pretty chilling and disturbing in some parts. It had a great cast of actors who helped elevate the picture above the usual films of its genre, particularly from Paul Birch and Beverly Garland.
Mr. Johnson, no one in this wide world can guarantee life.
Nor in any other, I fear. If you will serve me, I shall pay you $200 each week.
Let me tell you something, sir. No nurse would dream of getting $200 a week. Besides, it has the sound of something very unethical.
For anyone wondering why he would want to remake this particular film, we gotta go into two particular people. First up is Jim Wynorski. Jim Wynorski, for those who don't know, is a still pretty active B-movie filmmaker. He's been writing and directing low-budget films for almost 40 years at this point. A majority of his film credits either produced or connected in some way to Roger Corman and sometimes Roger's wife, Julie Corman. Winorsky apparently dreamed of making movies his whole life, and after getting into film school, he flunked out. And then he got a job as location manager for the Breaking Away TV show, but was fired. Huh.
Well, it looks bad for me, doesn't it? It doesn't look good.
And after a random encounter on an airplane with a passenger who knew Roger Corman, a meeting was eventually arranged.
Well, things are looking up.
Corman saying in an interview that he was struck by Wynorski's enthusiasm for film and his knowledge.
I was struck immediately by the enthusiasm. Particularly, he was interested in low-budget films and, what would I say, exploitation films.
Wynorski's big break came from his second directing job on a film that horror buffs today know and love very well, Chopping Mall. A movie about a bunch of young, horny, dumb people trapped in a shopping mall being hacked off one by state-of-the-art security robots, which was also produced by Julie Corman. Impressed by the movie, Roger Corman gave Winorsky the directing jobs for Deathstalker 2 and Big Bad Mama 2.
She's hotter, meaner, and badder than ever.
Somebody looking for me.
Stalker! You came back!
Quite popular demand.
And shortly after making those two infamous sequels, Winorsky found a copy of the original Not of This Earth, and at the time, it had never been released on home video, so this was a rare find. And I guess it just gave him a creative spark, because Winorsky then made a wager with Roger Corman that he could remake Not of This Earth on the same shooting schedule and budget.
It's not what you think.
What was that?
It's not what you expect. Purchase your ticket today.
You want to purchase, you purchase. You don't want to purchase, you don't have to purchase.
And regardless of what you think of the remake of Not of This Earth, I'll just say, there are a lot worse films that come out of two assholes making a fucking wager. So with the bet made, Winorsky had to find a new leading lady to replace the amazing Beverly Garland. And who did he choose? Controversial ex-porn star Traci Lords.
You think they're still somewhere in the house?
And Tracy saved the planet
No, we've really got something.
before it's too late.
And now we get to the second main person I have to talk about. Traci Lords, for those who don't know, was at one point the biggest up-and-coming porn star in the 1980s. She was huge, everyone in the country knew her, she was just on top of the world in that business. And then, 2 years into her successful porn star streak, it came to light that she had lied about her age when she entered the business. She had entered the business when she was only 16 years old.
50 and going on 150. You would never know it. Never know. I mean, I was fooled completely.
We are in serious trouble.
So, yeah, this resulted in a major fucking scandal. The FBI did a huge crackdown on the porn industry, and every video store that had a copy of one of her films had to get them off the shelves as fast as possible, or else get charged with distributing child pornography.
We are in very serious trouble.
Now dealing with the fallout from the scandal and shunned by the porn industry, Tracy Lourdes decided that it was time to find a new career and start over. And a big kickoff to that start over ended up being Jim Wynorski, a director who has become well known for showcasing very busty actresses.
Here's what I'd like to get. I'd like to get 2 lights. Something that lights breasts really well.
Some soft lights?
Yes.
Obviously, Winorski's main reason for wanting Lourdes was because of the scandal, knowing that it would draw people in, and of course to showcase her now of legal age assets. And if you were ever curious to find out what Traci Lords looks like naked without ending up in prison, this is the film to go to, because this was the last time she ever appeared naked on film, wanting to establish herself as a serious actress. And while she's never been an A-lister, Traci Lords has had a pretty successful non-porn acting career. Probably the most successful of any porn star trying to transition into the more mainstream business. Her future credits would include John Waters' Crybaby, the Stephen King miniseries The Tommyknockers, a regular role in Season 2 of the 90s crime drama Profiler, Blade, and Kevin Smith's 2008 comedy Zack and Marie Make a Porno. And as for Jim Wynorski, he's had a pretty long, successful career in the B-movie genre, appears to be comfortable, and really loves what he does. Just to give you a little taste of Winorsky, here's a couple of titles he's directed. The Return of Swamp Thing, Transylvania Twist, Sorority House Massacre 2, Scream Queen Hot Tub Party, Munchie, Sins of Desire, Dinosaur Island, Body Chemistry 3, Body Chemistry 4, Ghoulies 4, Vampirella, The Bear Wench Project, Raptor, Lost Treasure with Nicolette Sheridan and Stephen Baldwin, Cheerleader Massacre, Gargoyle Wings of Darkness, Lust Connection, The Da Vinci Coed, Dino Croc vs. Super Gator, Busty Coeds vs. Lusty Cheerleaders. I'm sorry, just... wow. Piranaconda, Shark Babes, Shark Kansas Women's Prison Massacre.
Super fine.
Wynorski has said he always makes a movie that he is proud of, saying they're gonna be here forever, he's gonna watch them again. He doesn't want it to be something he'd ever be embarrassed by. And regardless of what you think of quality, it's clear he loves what he does, and he does love cinema, and kind of like Ed Wood, it's hard not to find him a little inspiring.
I'm not Picasso. I'm more like the guy who paints Elvis on velvet, but I still like what I do. I love what I do.
You stick with me, kid. You're gonna live forever.
So, with Traci Lords secured in what would be her first mainstream film, Winorsky, along with his frequent collaborator at the time, R.J. Robertson, wrote a screenplay based on the original by Charles B. Griffith and Mark Hanna. And as far as remakes go, the 1988 Now This Earth is pretty much what I would call a cut and paste remake. Almost every scene plays out exactly as it did in the original. Hell, even most of the dialogue is the same.
Just what is wrong with him?
Well, it's very interesting. There are indications of internal hemorrhage.
Exactly what is wrong with him?
Well, it's very interesting. He has there's evidence of some internal hemorrhage.
I see.
There's only a couple of differences. The main one being Winorsky, as he always does, throws in a couple of titties here and there.
So you want us to strip?
Do as you please.
We got nurse titties, hooker titties, alien titties, and if you're into that kind of thing, dead titties.
If you can find cheaper pussy anywhere, fuck it.
Just like in the original, an alien from a dying planet known as Davana, who calls himself Mr. Johnson, this time played by Arthur Roberts, lands on Earth and goes on a mission to see if human blood can save his species. Using special alien powers, he kills people by looking them in the eyes, prompting him to wear sunglasses most of the time. To make sure he doesn't die before his mission is complete, Johnson hires a nurse named Nadine Story, played by Tracy Lords, to take care of him. While staying at Johnson's home, she suspects something weird is up, and together with Johnson's pervy ex-convict chauffeur, Jeremy, played by Lenny Giuliano, and her cop boyfriend, Harry, played by Robert Lodge, Nadine investigates and tries to uncover the truth, while Johnson continues killing people by the night, stealing their blood and sending it back to his home planet. And just like in the original, it becomes a matter of time before Nadine may become his next victim.
Everybody got that?
Like I said, it's almost point for point the same plot as the original, and it almost felt unnecessary to recap it, but yeah, that's what happens. And it is important to acknowledge that the remake of Gnaw This Earth is not a serious horror film. This film is a comedy, and as a result, I feel that some of the dumber moments and bad acting from certain actors is a little more excusable, but it doesn't change the fact that this is not a good film.
And if I do not receive blood within 4 connectins, I will have no continuing need for emotion.
You shall have blood.
It's far from being as awful as Gus Van Sant's Psycho, but it definitely feels like an unnecessary remake.
I never screw around.
Traci Lords' performance as Nadine is not the worst performance I've ever seen, but it definitely feels like it's coming from an ex-porn star, just with the forced, semi-stilted, or over-the-top way she delivers some of her lines.
What was in this glass? Water? Come on, even LA water isn't this bad. God, it's got a chemical smell.
I'll give her this. She's actually got a few funny moments.
I'm afraid you just haven't got the right bait, Jeremy.
Shouldn't say things like that until you've seen the size of my fishing pole.
You better be careful, you just might land a barracuda.
I guess the biggest drawback is it just doesn't hold a light to Beverly Garland's incredible performance. And as for the main reason that Winorsky cast her in this film, yeah, she is pretty hot, and while some of it's unintentional, her nude scenes do carry some humor to them. Her first nude scene being fresh out of the shower, unaware that Jeremy, being a creeper, is spying on her through a big mirror. As she's drying off, we notice that she's wearing high heels. No doubt to help make her ass look better, but still, she's wearing high heels fresh out of the fucking shower. And then the next shot, they're not there anymore.
There's no continuity.
Her second nude scene where she's having sex with her cop boyfriend, she rolls off showing that the actor has a complete bedsheet wrapped around him.
Nobody will ever notice that. Filmmaking is not about the tiny details, it's about the big picture.
A few of the other nude scenes that make up the majority of the actual remake changes to Gnaw This Earth include a scene where instead of 3 homeless alcoholics, like in the original, Mr. Johnson lures 3 hookers to his house, and we get this admittedly funny scene with the hookers acting all goofy and taking their clothes off before he delivers the killing eye.
This place is awful damp.
Please, this will only take a moment.
I'm sure it will.
If you pay attention, only 2 of the hookers actually show their tits. The third one doesn't take her shirt off at all. According to Jim Wynorski in his commentary, the third actress didn't feel comfortable and just refused to take her shirt off, so he worked with what he could get. And as for the scene where Johnson has to get a human to send back to Davana to be studied, instead of a subhuman Chinaman,
he takes a Chinaman into his room and neither one of them comes out.
The human he sends back is a singing stripper telegram chick, played by Becky LeBeau.
Hi, I'm your birthday girl. Happy birthday to you.
And this scene is honestly the most most what the fuck moment in the movie. Just, you watch it and you're just like, where did this come from?
You are Albert Fleetermeyer, 405 North Madison?
The address is 405 South Madison.
Oh, God, I did it again.
It is a funny scene, particularly because, going back a little bit, they also redid the vacuum cleaner salesman scene. And in a very weird move, they got an actor, Michael Delano, who looks and sounds almost exactly like Dick Miller from the 1957 version.
I don't want you to purchase, mister. I just want to give you a free demonstration. You want to purchase, you purchase. You don't want to purchase, you don't purchase. I ain't going to force you to purchase.
I just want to give you a free demonstration. You want to purchase, you purchase. You don't want to purchase, you don't have to purchase. I ain't going to force you to purchase.
Seriously, this guy looks and sounds so much like him, it's kind of eerie. Anyway, back to the birthday girl stripper telegram.
Happy birthday to you.
Johnson, just as perplexed as we the audience are, says,
You are attempting to sell me a vacuum cleaner?
I'll admit, that is a pretty funny callback joke. And after that, he uses his powers to turn the birthday girl into a brain-dead zombie and take into the beam, where we get a much sillier version of the Davana homeworld alien, now looking like a peroxide Rob zombie.
What the fuck is that supposed to mean?
The birthday girl gets in the beam and... I'll give it credit, the scream is a little chilling. We also get the same subplot of the Davana girl visiting and being given a blood transfusion by Johnson, dressed a lot less conservatively than the Davana girl from the original Not This Earth.
There is activity within me.
It will pass to the egress.
Arthur Roberts as Johnson is pretty bad.
I have ordered you not to sound the warning horn or make any other high decibel noises near me. No defiance. That is an order.
But boss...
No defiance.
Arthur Roberts is not intimidating and not even close to being as chilling as Paul Birch was, and I said earlier that I can excuse some of the bad acting, mostly from Traci Lords, because this is essentially a comedy. But in a really strange choice of direction, the movie actually tries to get intense in certain scenes, and because it's been so goofy and retarded throughout, you're really not sure if you're supposed to find the tense moments suspenseful, and they're so rushed, you don't really get a time to savor the moment. And the glowing eye effects on Mr. Johnson just pale in comparison to the shit your pants design of the original.
What about me?
Lenny Giuliano is honestly one of the more enjoyable aspects of the Not This Earth remake, mostly for the fact that he is 10 times creepier than Jonathan Hayes was in the original. Jonathan Hayes did a reasonably good job, but it was hard to really buy him as a bad boy, and he's generally pretty likable. Lenny Giuliano looks like a creepy motherfucker.
By the way, that's a great-looking mole you have on your left cheek.
Lenny Giuliano has a lot of funny moments. The main two that come to mind are his final moments in the film, where he's snooping in Johnson's basement and he discovers a human skull. His reaction merits a good chuckle. And then, and this is the most hilarious part of the film, and Mr. Johnson tries to control Nadine, and Jeremy just runs up with a gun and yells,
Hey, Klingon!
What a useless guy.
The last actor who's worth mentioning briefly is, and I swear this is his real name, Ace Mask. Ace plays Dr. Rochelle, and out of everybody, I'd say he's legitimately the best actor in the film.
Your blood is unlike any I've studied in my entire career.
In what way?
Your blood is behaving in an impossible manner. The agglutinin is breaking down, destroying the basic structure of the blood itself. The result
is evaporating blood.
Well, that's an oversimplification.
His performance is pretty well acted, and he plays it pretty straight. And he's got one of the most wicked comb-overs you will ever see.
I'm doing all I can. From this point on, it's in the hands of God.
The film ends with the original chase, and just like in the original, Johnson's weakness is loud noises, and it's a cop siren that ends up being his demise.
See you in Pittsburgh.
We end on the same cliffhanger as the original, and just like the original, there's no sequel, although there would be another remake. And then the film ends with a funny little cast listing where the actors, including Arthur Roberts as Paul Johnson, just break character a few times. The Not of This Earth remake is pretty bad, but it's enjoyably bad.
Read about them blood fiend. Took all their blood out. And Duke will protect me. He'll get him, won't you, Duke? Yeah, he'll get them all.
Fun fact, this random, crazy, nerdy chick was actually played by B-movie sex bomb Monique Gabrielle, who was actually dating Jim Wynorski around the time of filming. And the last big thing that I feel is worth talking about is Jim Wynorski's bet with Roger Corman was that he could remake Not of This Earth in 12 days. And he actually filmed 1 day ahead of schedule, and while it could be said he won the bet, I'm a little unconvinced he won that bet for one major reason. About 10 minutes of this film is stock footage from movies previously produced by Roger Corman. The opening scene showing Johnson's spaceship heading to Earth is from Galaxy of Terror, most of it run in reverse. The opening credits sequence, which is just bizarre, is a montage of clips from Galaxy of Terror, Forbidden World, Piranha, Battle Beyond the Stars, Battle Beyond the Sun, and Humanoids from the Deep. Yeah, we get all these clips of aliens coughing up acid, phallic and vaginal looking aliens, giant worm rape, and belly-ripping humanoid births. I mean, it is a fun montage, but it just leaves you scratching your head like, why isn't any of this in the film? Where's this all from? Or, wait a minute, didn't I see that in? A scene where Johnson kills this woman in lingerie is from Humanoids from the Deep, and the switch from the original footage to this new footage with a completely different actress is just bad. We also get a weird scene where the Davana girl, hopped up on rabies, goes insane and stalks and kills a woman. This is from the Corman-produced Hollywood Boulevard, directed by Joe Dante and Alan Arkish, and it's clear that is not the same actress.
There's no continuity.
So, yeah, I'm not really sure Jim won this bet if he only had to shoot 80% of a film.
Do you know anything about the art of film production?
Well, I like to think so.
The best part of this film was the music score by Chuck Serino, a regular collaborator with Jim Wynorski. The cinematography, which was okay, was done by Zoran Hochstader, and the editing was done by a man named Kevin Tent, who would later go on to be nominated for Best Editing for the 2011 film The Descendants. Go figure. Regardless of the film quality, Jim Wynorski knew how to get a movie out, and if all you want is a slightly exploitive film featuring tits and a little booty, I think you'll get what you want. Do I recommend the Not of This Earth remake? Only if you are a B-movie fan or if you have some time to kill.
Crazy.
Hope you enjoy this review, and be sure to come back next month because it's October and you know what that means.
destined to be a cult classic. Traci Lords in Not of This Earth, priced at just $89.95.
I had no idea it'd be so much I won't pay it.
Retailers with qualifying orders will receive a full-size, custom-designed Traci Lords standee for display.
All right. Anything.
Thanks so much.